Hi, this is Alan Shea. We're here at Robinson Park on the opening day here at Little League in Northwest Pasadena. And we're checking out the first day after COVID hit the community and how it's brought the community out on this beautiful April, we're going to say April 10th day to celebrate a new season of baseball here at Robinson Park. We're here at the park with Beverly Bogart, she's going to share a little bit of how important it is today and what is your role with this great event we're here at today at Robinson Park.
I work with West Pasadena Little League in the capacity of vice president. I've been with them almost 8 years. And the role of it is really to get young people to get involved with sports and to build character and just to the camaraderie, a social aspect of interacting with other people.
And how important is this for our next generation of young people to see the remodeling of the park, to understand the foundation of the park coming from the Robinson family, especially Jackie Robinson, and really for your role because you were a person who understood it all and experienced part of it growing up here in Pasadena?
Oh my, that's a long question. But first of all, our community, the city has invested a lot of funds into Robinson Park. And I'm just a strong believer that our young people need to be exposed to every opportunity, everything that our city has to offer, particularly because they live here. Some of the things I've experienced was to have young people realize that they have never been inside of the Rose Bowl, for example. So, of course, we had to have a banquet for our West Pasadena Little League teams at the Rose Bowl. And it was a new experience, and it was just a joy to see these young people engaging and having a good time. So, no, I definitely want to encourage all of our parents, our community, to support and, you know, help our young people get involved with more community-oriented type things.
And from a historic standpoint, why don't you share with the viewers really your appreciation for this type of establishment, because it wasn't here when you were growing up, and certainly you were part of that generation that kind of was the bridge builder to make sure the next generation can benefit from this experience.
Right. Well, as you know, I've lived here for almost 70 years, and like you say, we didn't have the opportunities that our young people have today. But on the same token, I wouldn't change anything because I think it made me who I am, the way that we were raised. But I've watched Pasadena grow. I've watched Pasadena do some changing. But for young people today, I think that it's important because there are so many advantages. They are so more advanced than we were. But the one thing that I think that they lack, and I'm hoping that they'll gain from interacting with others, is to know that we have more in common than we have different. And the only way you can do that is through socializing and getting involved in things that go on around you and your environment.
And last but not least, I see you have your granddaughter with you here, your great-granddaughter here at the park with us. And why don't you just share with people really how important this moment in time is to have this experience with your great-granddaughter, and really this recordation and what it leads for her future when she become of age.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I say, we've been here for a long time. I'm just amazed at just a moment, baby girl. I'm amazed with how much these young children actually know about the world around them. She amazes me all the time, as well as my other great-grands. But having lived here for so long, I'm hoping and praying that she will also get involved in the community, that she will want to be a part of making things better, where she feels that she can contribute as well as benefit from. So our whole family has been involved in community-oriented type activities in the city, from my mother, my brothers, my sisters. when I got involved with West Pasadena Little League, it was primarily because I watched my brother go through West Pasadena Little League, and I just thought it was another opportunity to give back.
And last but not least, I'm going to lead this for our viewers. Your brother got involved with Little League because of his inspiration of Jackie Robinson and what Jackie Robinson was doing for all of us at that time, back in the early 60s and 70s, to really pick up the baton that we had seen him break through and try and carry that forward. So it's a blessing to see that we have been able to memorialize Jackie Robinson's future, for future Jackie Robinsons, I should say, coming from right here in his own community, in our Northwest community, and certainly the citizens of today living through what Jackie Robinson and the Robinson family established for us.
Well, I totally agree. First of all, I want to commend the Robinson family. They're an inspiration for people such as myself with their involvement, their contributions. The history in itself is phenomenal, both Macca and Jackie Robinson. And I think that to have that in your community is something to value, and not just remember them as what they were, but where the family itself, the legacy of the family today. So again, I just truly feel blessed that I was able to grow up in Pasadena at a time that I did, and will continue as long as I'm here.
Well, we want to thank you. I got to get a hug from you because, you know, you've been an inspiration to me since I was a kid, and certainly our family have known each other for years and years, and growing up here in Northwest has been so critical for our place in history for Pasadena and what our hopes are for the future generation. So thank you, Beverly.
I have immense admiration for Jackie Robinson.
Jackie was born in Cairo, Georgia on January 31st, 1919. His family worked on a cotton plantation in conditions not much better than when blacks were slaves in the Old South. His father abandoned the family before Jackie was 2 years old. In hopes of a better life, Jackie's mother packed up her 5 children and moved to Pasadena, California, and a house on Pepper Street. In the Hollywood version of Jackie's early life, Sandlot baseball offered boys, white and black, an equal chance to prove their worth. Well, the movie got at least one thing right: Jackie could play.
Great bunch of infielders we got. Yeah, big leaguers.
Give me one, mister.
What do you want?
Rounders, flags, anything.
Watch this.
Baseball remained a favorite activity with Jackie, but as time passed, the Robinsons had to struggle to survive. With a paper route and other jobs, Jackie helped his mother supplement her earnings as a maid. He was no angel. He got into his share of mischief with a gang of other poor kids. His church minister inspired him to channel his energies into sports where he excelled. But in the climate of his youth, Jackie Robinson did not see sports as his ticket to getting ahead.
Hello, I'm Carly.
And why don't you tell them how old you are, Carly?
I am 7 years old.
And what bring you out here today?
It's because today, me and my grandma, we decided we want to come out here.
Okay. And we're here with Officer Tucker. Officer Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Alan Shea.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you, definitely.
Hello, I'm Charles Tucker, Park Safety Specialist, 37 years old, grew up in Altadena and Pasadena all my life.
And he also comes from a legendary family. So
My father also was a police sergeant for 33 years in the Department of Pasadena.
And an awesome police officer he was.
Thank you very much.
And also a great friend of mine from junior high school, actually.
Oh, junior high?
Yeah, we go from junior high school over John Muir, and
Yes, sir.
certainly love the great quality of life we have in Pasadena. So why don't you share with the audience what today is all about, and how can the community really appreciate the renovation of the park and, you know, getting the young people out here?
Well, it's just about bringing people together. The parks are for everybody to come out to and enjoy. Whether you just want to come out with your families, have some food, have some drink some sodas and some waters, come out and get some basketball in, come out and get a good baseball, watch a good baseball game, and just there's a very big playground for the kids to have fun on as well. So if you can't make it out to Disneyland or Magic Mountain, come to the park for free.
And before we let you go, Officer Tucker, why don't you share with the audience really the investment that was made here, getting some of the folks out here to support this community program that we have here in the Northwest?
So we always want everybody in the community to come out here. It's been hard for a lot of things going on in the city, but we just want everybody to come out and enjoy the park. And it's been a lot of work going into making the basketball courts better, renovating it from what it used to be. And hopefully a lot of people just come out and enjoy it.
And last but not least, how great is this for our police outreach and certainly show community engagement with our great police force that we have, you know, as we get back out here and become a community as one.
Absolutely. It's always great for the community to engage each other and just to be part of it together. So the police department, the community have to work hand in hand to make the community better. That's all we can do to make it work.
Well, we certainly thank you.
Appreciate you,
and
sir.
Keep them hitting some baskets out there.
I'm trying, sir.
All
I'm
right,
trying.
thank you.
Our guest today is that great figure in the world of sports, the only man to hold 5 world records in track at one time, Jesse Owens. Jesse, what do you remember as the greatest sports triumph of your career?
Well, Mr. Barnett, I think it came in 1936 when I won 4 events in the Olympic Games in Berlin.
The games, hosted by Hitler's Third Reich, were supposed to showcase white supremacy. Owens' 4 gold medals shot holes in that theory. Less well known was the achievement of Jackie Robinson's brother Mac in winning a silver medal in the 200-meter dash. Jackie was proud of his brother, but on Mac's homecoming, he found out success had its limits if you were black.
My brother ran second to Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games. But because Negroes were protesting against discrimination in Pasadena, California back in 1936, his return to Pasadena, he found that they had fired him because other Negroes were protesting. So all these guys who are saying that we've got it made through athletics, it's just not so. You as an individual can make it, but I think we've got to concern ourselves with the masses of the people, not by what happens as an individual. So I'm really tell these youngsters when I go out, certainly I've had opportunities that they haven't had, but because I've had these opportunities doesn't mean that I've forgotten.
The Harlem Globetrotters were the most famous black professional team in sports in that era. They were the NBA, the only act in town if you were a talented black basketball player with the gift of showmanship. In baseball, the Negro Leagues put thousands of black athletes in uniform and tens of thousands of fans in the stands. In the 1930s, the Negro Leagues actually were the largest black-owned business in America. It was not baseball, but football that won Jackie Robinson the scholarship to UCLA. And there he met the woman who became the most important person in his life.
We had to drive to UCLA. None of us could afford to live on campus. So we lived at home and drove every day. And I would wait till I see his car pull into the parking lot, and my car sort of would get pulled into the parking lot at the same time. And we'd have these chance meetings, and it was that kind of thing that my way of conveying to him that I wasn't just interested in an athlete, and obviously he was interested in me because he made these meetings more possible and began to ask me out on dates. He kept talking about not being too involved until he got out of sports, out of the university, because he wanted to be loved for himself.
So you can come on back in and you can share with the viewers, really, what do you want to be when you grow up now?
I want to be a singer.
A singer? I thought you told me earlier, a journalist. You want to be a reporter?
No, I just wanted to be on the show.
Oh, you just wanted to be on the show. Okay. And anything else you want to say? You got to look at the camera.
I want to say hello, Texas Dylan, and my auntie, she lives out there. Hello, auntie. Hello, Auntie Arlene. I want to make a shout out to my mom, my aunties, my grandmas, my everything, all of my family members.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
After the Army, Jackie signed up to play with the Kansas City Monarchs. Black baseball was unknown to most of white America, but it had many loyal fans who admired its lively style of play and depth of talent.
Okay, we're here with one of the parents. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dan. My son Dylan plays for the Chicago American Giants.
And how are they doing today so far?
Well, this is not an inter-squad game, but they're sharing players with the other team and just getting games in. It's so great to see the kids out there just being outside and playing, you know.
And how excited are the kids today, really being outdoors, getting back to some form of normalcy in our community?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. That's the best thing as kids and as parents to see that. That's what we've been waiting a year for, more. So it's great.
And why don't you share with the viewers, last but not least, before we let you go, how important is the community engagement here in Northwest Pasadena, especially here at Robinson Park?
Oh, we love this league, the Central Pasadena League, and all the parks. I mean, whether it's here, up at Farnsworth, up at Robinson's. I mean, what a beautiful facility. This is fantastic. And to see all the parents out, the announcer, I mean, this is Little League. It's great.
Right. And you know, this is a new field. I think you guys are probably one of the first ones to break the, to break the ribbon here and play on it. So definitely.
It looks fantastic.
Well, we'd like to thank you so much for the interview.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige and
Top Negro leaguers like Monty Irvin and Larry Doby came under consideration by some major league teams in the post-war years, as did that ageless wonder, the pitcher Satchel Paige. Robinson's talents on and off the field are what intrigued the Brooklyn Dodgers, even as they quietly scouted catcher Roy Campanella and the powerful young pitcher Don Newcomb. Meanwhile, the grueling Negro League schedule was teaching Jackie all about life's limitations if you happen to be a black man traveling in America.
So we're here with a father of 5 who's out here, enjoying a day with his beautiful kids at the park, Jackie Robinson, and he's going to introduce himself and share with you viewers how he's enjoying this day of getting back to normalcy.
Yeah, the new normal, right? Hi, you guys. I'm Trey Meeks. I'm a father of 5. I have a 11-year-old son that's playing second base right now. My 9-year-old daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son right here, and a 4-month-old newborn baby boy. So we're just excited to be. It's great weather, great atmosphere at Jackie Robinson Park in Pasadena. Just enjoying the time back to this new normal and being able to enjoy some outside activities. And I know my son and my daughters and my other son just really enjoy being back out.
Wow. So what would you share with the folks who's watching this, really the need to have community support and, what we've done in the recovery process here in Pasadena?
Yeah, Pasadena has been great, and all my children go to school here. I have a couple at San Rafael, I have one at Washington, and the community support is just huge. Being in this, from the Altadena and West Pasadena Baseball League has really given us an opportunity to just hang out and be face-to-face with some people, which is something we sorely need after a year plus of this pandemic.
Wow. And last but not least, since we're out here enjoying Robinson Park on this beautiful Saturday, on April 15th is going to be Jackie Robinson breaking into Major League Baseball. So we would like to hear, what would you like to share with the viewers so they can really appreciate what we have here in Pasadena, right here around the corner from where Jackie Robinson grew up?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm not a native of Pasadena, but my wife is, and moving into this city and really understanding the culture and the history of what this city represents, and from an African American standpoint, the success of African Americans from an athletic standpoint and an economic standpoint is humongous. And being able to share, not there celebrate, but also know that it's part of this city in so many ways, in Robinson Park, and celebrating both brothers and breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball is huge. And that's one of the reasons my son is out here, is because of the foundation that Jackie Robinson laid.
Well, we're glad to have all of that information woven together, because we want to look, certainly hope the next generation really appreciate the history that they have here in their own backyard.
Yes, absolutely. It's imperative. And guys like this little guy.
Yeah, I got some dinosaurs for my backpack.
Guys, you like baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Guys
go
like
McDonald's.
Yeah. the guys like this little guy can have a chance to be successful, and he can see someone that looks like him that's able to perform at a high level like Jackie Robinson did. And not only that, sacrifice. Because we know the journey wasn't easy. I mean, we see the success of it, but we know the journey was far from easy. He had to deal with a lot to be able to be where he was at. So we thank him.
Well, we want to thank you, Trey, and we hope we didn't take too much away from all the folks here, you know, and the kids.
It's fun.
But we appreciate your input, so people can enjoy, and certainly in our long history, because I guess we've known each other, what, almost 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a while, 20 years, man.
And
I'm only 20.
Well, wait a minute, but more importantly with this particular day, why don't you share with them what brought us together, because I think that's the essence of this whole community.
Oh, yeah. Well, my father-in-law was a longtime pastor, and my mother-in-law evangelist, and Frank and Bunny Wilson, and that's how Alan and I met at church. And they were community activists and evangelists and have changed and for the better so many lives, and they still have an impact on individuals today. So that's how we met, and well, a long time leader, a quiet leader in the sense of he may not be known in the community as much, but all over the world he's known. So.
Absolutely. In fact, his father was a great mentor of mine. He mentored me growing up. He's from Pasadena. He was also the producer of Motown, and he wrote for many of the artists of Motown. And your mother-in-law was a great writer. She had a collection of books. So, you know, we have a lot of history here, and that's why we want to make sure that all of the folks who watch the show can really appreciate how we weave our community in with, you know, the history of what Pasadena offers.
Yeah, it's imperative that we know where we were, so we know how we're going to get to the next level. So it's huge.
Absolutely, and we're going to keep watching these, because, you know, that can be a next Barack Obama right there.
Good, yes, absolutely. The next level of everything from in so many different ways.
In fact, you know, Barack Obama lived in Pasadena.
From Occidental, I didn't know he lived in Pasadena, but I did know he went to Oxy, so that's good. History for me today. I knew he went to Oxy, but I didn't know he lived in Pasadena while here. That's cool.
Lived here in Pasadena, so we can just keep weaving those threads together with all the different people that's made a pathway here in Pasadena. So we want to thank you once again, sir.
No problem. No problem.
And we appreciate it. And I love all this history and what community and our kids have an opportunity for in today's generation.
It's absolutely great and imperative. That's the only way we're going to get to the next level, is them letting them lead us. All right? So it's good.
Branch Rickey ran the Brooklyn Dodgers like a benevolent king, wise under his gruff exterior. He believed in equal treatment for blacks, but he also knew they could help him win baseball games. When he summoned Robinson to New York to join his top farm team and not some all-black team, Rickey had his strategy for Jackie all worked out.
He was everything that I had hoped he would be at that moment. The surprise, that whole occasion was Robinson. I couldn't convince him that I was giving him this interview and considering him for a job on the white team, the Brooklyn Dodgers. I had to give him an actual picture, by voice, by gesture, but by every means I had to have him realize what he was in front of and what he was about to agree to. He had to know that he would be called these names and his mother would be attacked, and his ancestry, as I put it. Well, I asked him what he would do. I'd kill him. It was the very resentment that I wanted, and yet he had to realize that he must be able to handle himself under those dire conditions. And there was finally an agreement that for 3 years he would undertake to turn the other cheek, and we defined what that meant in actual field play.
Jack called me to say that he wasn't being scouted for the Brown Bombers, which was the story he was told when he was brought to Mr. Rickey, but actually he was being scouted for the major leagues. What it meant to us at the time was he had a job. It didn't mean that he had a mission. And it was a long time before we really could make that distinction and see how really big a thing this was.
Jackie's 1946 season with the Montreal Royals of the International League was his dress rehearsal for the historic year to come. Montreal was a cosmopolitan city, accepting of his presence on the previously all-white squad. But in Jackie's own country, there were many baseball parks where his presence would come as a shock. Still, Robinson managed to lead the league in hitting and fielding and to lead the Royals to a championship. The first stage of the Ricky Robinson plan was now complete.
You couldn't think of Jackie Robinson without Brian Rick.
I think I had 5 points today out of our team's 8. Yeah, but I think I did good.
So why don't you share with the viewers how important is community engagement with our youth, and especially on a great day in a park like we have here in Northwest?
It's very important. It bridges the gap. And, you know, if people don't trust police, they got to be out here and relate with people and talk with them and play basketball with them.
I agree with that. So why don't you share with the viewers looking at camera and tell them how much pride it is to work for Pasadena Police Department and being a part of the community of Pasadena.
I love Pasadena. It's been great to me so far, the 17 years that I've been here. Yeah, I have great pride in the city. I love the people. You know,
that's what we like to hear, and make sure our community continue to see that blue here in Pasadena, and community and police engagement.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the spring of 1947, baseball came to Brooklyn with more than the usual fanfare and anticipation. On this historic opening day, April 15th, the Dodgers were hosting the Boston Braves. Jackie Robinson took the field, and a black man finally gained his rightful place in America's most popular sport. For Jackie, it was a personal victory that he would have to go out and re-win day after day for the 6 months of a baseball season. He had promised not to respond to racial slurs, insults, or physical threats, but to endure them in silence. Some players even threatened to boycott games, but there were others, like teammate Pee Wee Reese, who befriended Jackie. The shortstop and the second baseman were a magnificent double-play combination on and off the field.
And I think it was Pee Wee Reese whose strength was, quite good. Dixie wanted to know, how can you, a Southerner, not participate in this so-called boycott? But Pee Wee, from the outset, felt that if I were the only white guy trying to break into our black league, I want somebody to be my friend.
I think that because baseball had been defined as the all-American sport, which means it should mean it includes everything and everybody, that Jack's entry into the baseball arena and the reactions to him, I mean, the fact that he evoked the kind of open, blatant, racist talk, actions, threats, alerted America to the fact that discrimination was very pervasive. It was not limited to a few bigots in the South. It was in North and South. It was an undercurrent, an underpinning of our society, and that it was creating an atmosphere in which many people did not have opportunities.
For Brooklyn Dodger fans, the next decade would be known as the Jackie Robinson years, and they were glory years for the team as it won 6 National League pennants and 1 World Series. Beyond baseball, Robinson's bold and dignified example was an inspiration to all blacks and an object lesson to skeptical whites. He was named 1947's Rookie of the Year, and his achievement impressed all Americans, not just sports fans.
And this is Alan Shea signing out with Our Society Show.
Bye-bye.